So there's this new story making headlines about 8 Indians in Qatar who were detained since August 2022, now being sentenced to death. And this news is making the rounds in India. It's been deeply disturbing to the Indian government, who is trying all they can to be involved. But here in Pakistan, there is very little coverage of this affair in our media. And so I've decided to step in and give my thoughts on this matter. Of course, there is not much I can say because the entire affair is shrouded in mystery. This was a closed trial. Qatar is not saying on what charge the Indians are being sentenced for and what it was exactly that they did. But of course, there are the reports going about. They say that these 8 Indians who were former Indian Navy personnel, most of them were captains of ships. They were there in Qatar to work for a certain company, and they allegedly passed secrets onto Israeli Mossad, or just Israel. And then the secrets apparently were concerning a military submarine that was under construction in Qatar, and that's about the extent that we know. Qatar is not releasing information about this because they say it's a matter of national security for itself. And this is very unusual for a trial, because trials are supposed to be out in the open and all the information possessed by the prosecution has to be turned over to the defense. That's why America did not give whole trials for the people it imprisoned in Guantanamo Bay for many years, because it also cited national security concerns. But if this story about the Indians in Qatar is true, then what this means was they were not spying for India. Instead, what they were doing was they simply were people who possessed the right knowledge, and they decided to pass on this knowledge to Israel because most likely Israel paid them. So they were selling secrets to the highest bidder, to giving their services in exchange for payment. And that's what's going on. And by doing this, they were basically acting against their own nation's interests, because India and Qatar have good relations, and what these 8 Indian men allegedly did, it could seriously damage that bilateral relationship. And that is not something that the Indian media is talking about. They should be talking about the morality, the ethics of these men, if the allegations against them are true, that they decide to do this for their own self-interest and compromising everything else in the meantime. But instead, Indian media is talking about what their government is doing to save these men, and how everything is being held behind closed doors in Qatar. So that's one thing, one aspect of the story that I'm thinking about. For another question to ponder is, why did Israel want those secrets? If those secrets were about the submarine, Israel apparently needs submarine technology that Indians are building in Qatar. I thought Israel is one of the most advanced countries in the world. So what was plan did it exactly have? And what was the relationship exactly between Israel and the Indians? What sort of plot were they involved in? Just to help Israel build a better submarine, or was there something more going on? I don't know, but remember, these men they were arrested late at night in August 2022. So if they were engaged in this plot with Israel, it would have been going on for quite some time before. So what was Israel doing back then, long before this current war that's been embroiled in right now? Are there things going on that the world doesn't know about, that we should know about. So that's another thought. And finally, this trial in Qatar comes sometime after the Kulbhushan case in Pakistan, that another Indian ex-officer, I think he was, who was arrested in Pakistan and charged with espionage and also sentenced to death. So apparently this is happening where there are Indians going about spying and getting caught. And I don't know why. It doesn't seem to happen to Israel. I don't hear stories about Mossad agents getting caught, at least not in recent years. Maybe they're very good at it, because we know that Mossad is engaged in a lot of activities, very active spy organization. Also, we've never heard about Pakistani spies getting caught anywhere. Is it because ISI does not send spies anywhere, or is it because the spies are very good at their job? I don't know, but we should think about that, about how it seems that so far nobody in Pakistan who has in possession of sensitive information has ever been bought by another country, another party to give this information and to give their services in the form of spying. And that's a good thing. It seems that Pakistan is a clean nation in this regard, and ISI and the other intelligence agencies in Pakistan, they have not been doing anything that puts them at risk of getting caught or of compromising Pakistan's image and position. But we need to pay closer attention to what's going on with these other countries, with India and with Israel, because these are going to be dangerous times, very intriguing times, and stories like this with the 8 Indians in Qatar, they could be part of a whole array of things which are going on beneath the surface that is hidden from all our view, but are clearly important and are part of all the geopolitical intrigue going on. So that's what I have to say about this case of the 8 Indian nationals in Qatar being sentenced to death as a Pakistani commentator. So my name is Raja Shazif Khan, and you are watching Zenia Sati channel.